Thank you. I think it's your chance to ask the questions to any of the panelists.
Baitapele re ke no e combine na re ntla la so wela kae mo lona le babedi gona membership ya ge wa ANC o tšhaile or o etsalang.
Let me just...
Who displays that we can work with,
so
irrespective of who they are.
So you already declared ANC persona non grata. Chances of working with ANC are slim.
Already I'm telling you that, look, ANC will be the last resort for us to work with. We'd rather be in opposition than be in government, unlike working with ANC.
And then would you work with Freedom Front Plus?
Look, the criteria still stays. We are saying we are open to work with anyone else who at least we do have some kind of similarities and they never contributed towards breaking the system of the country in any way. Want me to start from? We'd vote not in favor of that motion. The border shouldn't be collapsed. Even when you go to other African countries within the AU, they are not talking about collapsing the borders. They are talking about free exchange of goods amongst ourselves and the mineral resources, that they shouldn't be held up at different borders for a long time unnecessary. It's affecting their economy, it's affecting our economy. We can't be the only ones who can think this thing of saying collapse the borders. Their borders, and for an example, the EFF is swinging a different tune. When it's with the people, it's saying we are going to insource you. When it comes inside the council, I mean, you don't know what happened. A person mysteriously disappears after being against Action SA to say, we don't want those security guards to have permanent jobs within the city of Tshwane and the cleaners. So I'm voting no. And then immediately after voting no, motion, criticize our work. They thought it was going to fail. Unfortunately, it passed. So we are responsive to the real challenges of the people. I needed more time, but it's fine.
Okay, you let me know. I think this is
You are hiding that. Why?
Okay, don't answer it. If you have a question for Tshwane Parliament, you could also ask him a question. If you don't have it, it's fine.
No, I do not have a question on
all right, sure. You can answer the question and then throw two of yours.
Coalition, no, my brother.
I'm a far wrong template. I'm a supportable action, I'm a supportable freedom front. We had a service delivery backlog. It consists of the action say, I'm a supporter bring Kikion. Today, we are fighting amongst one another because of they supported the devil. And this thing the devil I know, tell us about ANC. Now don't work like that. There are new parties who are going to make difference. And if we were to enter into political space for some reason, because we now, like I told you, we believe in ethical leadership like they do. A leader doesn't govern with somebody who loves him. We don't lead people over Ratang. You lead everybody, that's our thing. So there's no political tolerance. Mogiri Hasla say there's another deal just to get the seats. Now
we'll do away of all this problem that we're finding ourselves in presently. How can you take somebody that he was never a policeman, minister of police? You take a criminal, you put him a minister of police. How is he going to lead that department? You take somebody that he was never a doctor, he led the department of health. Get the right people with qualification, the right qualification for that particular. During the beginning of this interview,
yes,
when you asked about the funders, he talked about the Action SA is funding itself, it's the people, I do not know. But we all know that this lady of Rupert, the daughter of Rupert, is sponsoring you. So why don't you go? Why don't you expose that? Yes, you are being funded by those the Rupert and the Upper Mamas, but you are not
to be seen doing something. That space is contaminated. It's corruption. It's a criminal protecting a criminal. I mean, we know who stole that money because they are on TV, on national public domain. People can see that, but they are just wasting our money, stealing our money because there's this culture of protecting one another. I mean, how can a criminal investigate a criminal? So it's just a criminal space flooded with criminals. And the independence of the judiciary is a priority. They need to take this institution as a private entity so that it can protect everybody else's rights. The more wanted, and the churches must decolonize. The churches, all the churches. Because the churches, that's where they manage our consciences to tell us that no, your neighbor, a foreigner will come and do this and this. Who's a foreigner? It's not only a black person. We've got Chinese here. We've got Pakistani here. We've got all these people who are all fall under foreign. Seeking clarity on that one. Beside mandate Dudula foreign nationals, what else can you offer to South Africans?
Thank you very much. Ari Tomagokosi, your 1 minute is on. Dumela comrades,
Leadership.
how are you?
Morning, good.
Commander Moni.
Thank you very much. Let's start the discussion by introducing ourselves.
Yeah.
Who are you, where you come from, and what's your capacity where you are serving?
All right. No, I'll go first.
Thank you.
As a leader. My name is Khosi. My full name is Khosi Tsile Khosi Imang. So Khosi Imang is a surname. So I'm also a resident of Tshwane, number one. Number two, I'm representing Action SA, and my capacity in Action SA, I'm sitting in the City Council at Tshwane. I'm the 19th councillor at Action SA, Kamo City of Tshwane. Thank you.
Commanders morning, Tsapo Mahlangu, President of Last Tshwane Parliament. Ke modudi wa Tshwane, ngwana wa Tshwane, resident of Tshwane. But I'm leading the residents of all 7 regions who are affiliated to us, close to 8,000 now. Morning, Commanders.
Commanders morning. David Masai Masedi. I'm a Secretary of Operation Dudula at Ridgeville Branch. I'm also Modudi wa Tshwane, and we are not in Tshwane presently, but yes, we are going there.
Thank you very much. I'm going to time you on the question that I'm going to ask you. Your host today, Machine from Politically Incorrect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you one question each. We'll start on the from Action SA going to the right of where I'm seated, and you've got 3 minutes to answer the question. You have not been advised on what the question is. So the first question is, who should lead South Africa and why?
Okay.
Your time is on.
No, thanks. I can't be saying obvious because to me it will be obvious. But I think the best option for South Africans is President Herman Mashaba or Action SA. The reason why the man has a track record of getting things done. So this slogan Sarona, you'll see it is called, is written, let's fix South Africa. So fixing South Africa is not to say we are introducing something completely new. We are well aware how the political system is a bit flawed. So what do we then mean by that? We established, or one of the things that makes the political system to be rotten, the leadership style. So if the leadership is not ethical, going down obviously. So with Action SA, amongst our other core values, ethical leadership. So there are strict vetting procedures that we do to test at least your level of ethical leadership. We are subjected to continuous assessment to see if we still remain ethical. So ethics is amongst the other top priorities. And of course, Action SA, starting from our president. In fact, is one of the things that we want to reintroduce, to say, while the child is still young, let's introduce them to a routine of praying. They must be God-fearing. They must be knowing that they are saved. They must be knowing God is our Savior. So we are going to reintroduce that thing. At least it will still some form of a fear. So yeah, I believe our President Mashaba.
Thank you. Next.
The same
The
question.
same question, yes.
The people shall govern is our slogan. We, as residents of South Africa, should choose our leader, not the party. Party have failed us. Hence we say the people shall govern. We are the voters. We've been undermined. We've been sidelined by party politics, partisan, where they choose irrelevant people without content, people who are just lying. So we are tired of being used and abused by the system, which is incorrect. We should actually go there, vote as the residents, organize ourselves, not mobilize, because that's a political language. We've been marginalized to a point whereby our votes are no longer our voices. We've been muted. This, especially with this toxic coalition arrangements. Those coalition, look at what they did in Tshwane. There's a classic example. Imagine if they were to go national. We might have 3 presidents in one term, because look at MK now. They want to recall the face of Jacob Zuma. He recalled. So the politician is overrated in South Africa. We no longer have politicians. We've got hustlers, and there are people who can lead this country ethically. I often hear people saying, yeah, but Sebo, new parties cannot lead. They will tell us that they're going to start learning. Hey, we're still learning. It's a lie. When you say people are going to learn what? Look at Zondo Commission. Learn to steal, learn to kill, learn to lie. We don't want that. I can lead. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Commander Tshwane, it goes without saying that we should go with Operation Dudula under the leadership of President Zandile Dudula. Operation Dudula, it is there for the South Africans, and I think, let me not think it is a fact, that is the last messiah of South Africans. That is the only party that is going to bring back the economy of South Africans. Bringing back the economy, just a general weight, but we can segment it. How do we do that? We are going to create jobs for South Africans. One will say it is a song of each and every politician. But Operation Dudula is going to do that simply in taking all the illegal foreigners back to their countries, opening the job for the South Africans. That is why I am saying we should go to Operation Dudula. And it doesn't sing that thing. Presently, it is practical. There is many young people, young South Africans that are already placed in the job places by Operation Dudula. I can refer many companies around Gauteng, where we've got our youth being employed there. Not being in the parliament presently, but not yet having gone to the votes, but still we have already proven that we can put our South African youth into the workplaces. Again, we're going to return the hijacked buildings that are taken by the foreigners to the South Africans. Commander Tshwane.
Thank you. So I'm going to throw a question that starts with you, Masedi. Who funds you, and what kind of influence do they have in your decision making as an organization?
Presently, Operation Dudula doesn't have a funder. It funds itself through membership and the donation that we give to the party. So we do not have any funder. But still, under that circumstances, we are optimistic and confident that we are going to win these elections of 2024.
Thank you. So that question means, are you declaring openly that you have never received external sources?
Without no fear, yes. We never
Operation Dudula has never in its existence received sources outside its organization, meaning 100% of all its operational cost comes from membership fees.
That is correct. It comes from our members.
Thank you very much. Tshwane Parliament, your time starts now.
About funding?
Yes.
We are the residents. We don't have funders. We are not captured. So whatever we do, we crowd fund. we just help one another with those small donations that we have, because we don't have big operations. I mean, remember, we are not on the ballot yet. We don't require those millions yet, but we are organizing ourselves. When the time comes, we'll have that discussion. But currently, nobody can fund the community. Instead, they want money they steal from us. They are all stealing from us. So we don't have, imagine if we have a funder, they'll be collapsing it. So we are safe. Hence, we're not campaigning for anything, because personally, I don't believe if I wanted to go to Parliament, I would need to be on a ballot paper or on a billboard somewhere. I'll just go to the Parliament, because people dictate that people shall govern. I'm telling you, even now, if I were to go to national, it's a promise that I can tell you now. If I want to go to Parliament tomorrow, I don't need to be campaigning. I'll be going there. How? I'll tell you when the time comes. Because I've been lobbied so many times to say, come, come, come. I don't want that, because I'm incorruptible. I represent the people with ethical leadership he's talking about. Morning, commanders.
All right, thank you.
With the bill,
Yes.
you asking about funding.
Yes.
All right. No,
Yes.
we can call it broadly so. I'm not sure. I'll also try to be broadly so.
Yes.
Because I don't want brutality. I'm sitting next to a soldier here. Leadership.
Maybe.
So, yeah. So regarding the issue of funding, we made a plea with South Africans to say, South Africans, it was back then in 2021 to say, look, South Africans, we have a very big project to undertake, a project to rescue South Africa, a project to fix South Africa. But looking at the amount of money that we have, it was next to nothing. So we opened a plea to the whole South Africans to say, South Africans, anyone who wants to fund us, who believes in our policies, can you please come forward? So yes, we also deal from the funding from the communities, but there are those who would be more privileged, who may be very generous. And then we also put the terms and conditions when you assist us. You are assisting us because you want South Africa to be fixed. That's the reason for your contribution towards us. Now, if you contribute, you cannot come with the terms and conditions. No. We simply tell you, we are not for sale. So we are not for sale. We're simply asking for donations, just like everybody else has asked for a donation. So yes, we don't have a specific funder. We continually ask for donations from South Africans, of course. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Which are the most important institutions to safeguard the democratic South Africa? It starts with you, Action SA. The most important institution that you think these ones will help guard this democratic country.
Yeah, okay, no, it's fine. Even that one is at least amongst our priority areas or one of our principles, core value. We premise it on the one, professionalizing the public service is part of our core values. Number two is the rule of law. We must at all times observe the rule of law. So the rule of law has those institutions. So you look at your judicial system, you look at your independent bodies that oversee how government operates. For an example, the ICU. We want to bring back the Scorpions because we believe they were doing a wonderful job. We look at the independent electoral commission. You look at the likes of Marging Tulima Donzel. Public protector. So you look at such kind of institution, there must be some segregation of duties and powers, right? So it is of utmost importance to ensure independence, high independence of each of these institutions, so that they are not contaminated. I mean, if you imagine the IEC law is contaminated, so before we start voting, we'll be knowing who will win the votes. So independence of those institutions, we take it to the highest value. That is why we even included it as part of our core values to say, put us in government. Every institution that is mandated to do a certain specific duty, we will make sure that it does perform those duties without any fear or favor. So yes, the courts, the judicial system, the police system, and everything else that is independent, and government must be left to run the government without even interfering in the private sector space. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Laska, the same question.
I'm going to be straight to the point.
Yes,
we need to
please.
focus on education institution. South African curriculum is wrong. Our children knows nothing about politics, number one. That's why there's this voter apathy from youth, because they're despondent, because politicians are so greedy about information, because they just want to rule and govern. So we need to start formalizing our education system, teach our children not to depend on the government, like introducing entrepreneurship. You know, if we can actually get this economic factor correctly, then South Africa will be a better place to live. Because as we speak, I'm having a very serious problem with economics, political economics. How they calculate things doesn't make sense. Give me 350, where do you get that money? Because country doesn't have money. So the children need to know how money actually operates. They need to be taught on economic factors, on investment, on self-reliance. And the second one is the judicial system. Political parties are interfering in judicial system. Hence, there's a high rate of crime. So if you can focus on those two initially, others will follow. I mean, if your child knows, like China, knows how to fix cell phones and all, now we are depending on undocumented foreigners to fix our phones. But if we teach our kids on entrepreneurship, we will rely on our own children, investing, and then the economy will revolve and circulate amongst ourselves like they do. It's not that it doesn't require rocket scientists. It just requires passion to actually start correctly, not start by asking for power without empowering people. We need to empower youth and fix our judicial system, and the country will be run efficiently.
Before your time is over, how does that relate to safeguarding our democracy?
I don't know what to talk about democracy, because the current president actually poked holes during Kodesa, so we don't have democracy.
Let's let it pass.
Okay.
If you get next door, thank you. The same question.
Yes, I would think we should start by the Constitution, which is the umbrella that governs all the institutions. If you could remember, Operation Dudula, there's no institution that Operation Dudula never went to. We went to all the institutions, we have talked to all the institutions, but they do not respond positively. That is why we decided that we should move from a civic organization to a political party, so that we go and sit with them into the parliament and talk to them face to face about all these failure institutions. Because presently, all the institutions of South Africa, they're disineffective. Now, we are going to make them to be effective by first changing the constitution, especially the phrase that says South Africa belongs to all who live in it. We are saying South Africa belongs to South Africans. So that is how we are going to attend to all the institutions and be regulated by various regulations of different institutions.
Thank you very much. So let's talk about commissions of inquiry. It has become a fashion in this dispensation of the 30 years of ANC rule to use commissions of inquiry to do investigations and other judicial processes. We are currently battling Phala. Phala has been stolen, Parliament has been stolen in courts, people don't know what to do. If you win government, would you do a commission of inquiry, or you will straight up arrest the Phala culprits, starting with, of course, the President Cyril Ramaphosa? What will be your stance? Thank you.
Look, it has been proven that these things of commission of inquiry is just another way of stealing the South Africans' money. People are looting money through commissions of inquiries. They are too expensive, all these commissions. Why don't we give each and every institution responsible for that particular thing to deal with it. For instance, the one of Phala, it should be SIU, South African Police Services, and the judiciary that should deal with that. But now it goes up to SARS, and it turns around to find that the president has nothing to do with that, because they are used to playing with the South Africans' mind. So the only way that we are going to deal with it, each and every institution has to deal with each and every ground that is supposed to attack.
Thank you. Tshwane Parliament, same question.
The judiciary in South Africa must be independent. There must not be a political interference. This is just another wasteful expenditure by the government who wants to be seen doing something. That space is contaminated. It's corruption. It's a criminal protecting a criminal. I mean, we know who stole that money because they are on TV, on national public domain. People can see that, but they are just wasting our money, stealing our money, because there's this culture of protecting one another. I mean, how can a criminal investigate a criminal? So it's just a criminal space flooded with criminals. And the independence of the judiciary is a priority. They need to take this institution as a private entity so that it can protect everybody else's rights. But the more they interfere as politicians, the more we're going to see useless commission of inquiry, which doesn't yield any results but steal our money.
Thank you. Action SA?
No, thanks. The purpose of the commissions of inquiries, it seemed to me they are being fashionable. So you fashionize it. Any little thing that comes the way, it has to go through that, like it's a procedure or it's law. And in South Africa, we have laws. And we have laws for a reason. And our laws are not very ambiguous. Our laws are straightforward to say, if you commit this type of a crime, this is how it is going to be handled. So I think the commissions of inquiry are done by this thing of saying political intervention. And we have mentioned before that the political system is broken. So, because the political system is broken, it somehow affected the judiciary. To an extent that South Africans don't even believe in the judiciary. So how you go about this to say, we don't need commissions of inquiries. We need to follow through the law to the core, to the latter. The law will guide us. There are cause for these kind of things. So depending on what kind of an offense has been crossed, of course, I mean, Melo Jesus. So with myself, I think the president should have been arrested already. There's law around that. There's money laundering. I mean, the owners of the US dollar themselves, they are not allowed to carry more than 15,000 of those. They are not allowed. But somebody else who doesn't even reside in America has plenty of those things. That's committing the law. That's breaking the law. Thank you.
Thank you. So let me link up the two previous questions. I previously asked about the importance of institutions and how they will safeguard our democracy. And then I asked about a very important topical point. You know, these institutions, in the way they handled Phala. Yeah. If you remember, the public protector made recommendations that there must be a commission of inquiry. Jacob Zuma appointed Zondo to be the commissioner. And it is that appointment that kick-started commission, state capture commission, right? And then he could not himself, who is the president, he could not honor demands from that commission, and he was then arrested. And this is the problem we are facing in our country. So I want to repeat the questions again to yourselves. Do you think, so this is the question, do you think the president, the assembly of the independence of organs in South Africa, it is difficult because the judiciary depends on the state president who heads the executive in government. And SARS, public protector, all of those things work at the behest of the majority party, meaning the president of the governing party wields power in his party and therefore in parliament. So essentially we do not have independence. And what is the solution with that? So I'm repeating the question back to you. Now you are solving the problem for us. What then must happen? You can kickstart it, Action SA.
All right.
What is the solution of the problem that we're having in separating the powers from legislature to judiciary until to the executive, where the president sits? Thank you.
Okay. I started with the laws. We have a constitution, right, in a country. The constitution is very clear which institutions are for which sections. And then it's segment between the executive, the judiciary, and of course some other independent bodies that are meant to oversee the work that is been happening. So here, once you start inviting over somebody to appoint a commission, you are automatically revita through pass it. They are saying judge yourself. Of course, even myself, if I'm being given that opportunity, I won't punish myself. It's like the current situation that's happening on here. You ask the ANC to punish the ANC so that the ANC doesn't keep doing what it's doing to the people. I mean, do you think any ANC will punish ANC?
What example is that? Clarify for us.
No, I want to get to this point before, but it is when you look at what is being happening with the commissions. So you're saying the public protector gives a recommendation that the president, who's been questioned to appoint in the commission,
Yes.
and then he'll assemble it. So we can go ahead with this thing. We can go ahead with this thing, but that's what happened. It sacrificed the independence of the importance of that institution. That institution must be independent.
How must it be? So we must provide solution. How must it be independent?
All right.
Because it's not working currently.
We extract our mandate from the Constitution. We follow what the Constitution is saying about us. So the Constitution will tell you this type of a problem will be attended by this institution. And this institution, this is the limits or the framework within which it can operate. Not this thing of a Mickey Mouse appointment as friends. But thank you.
Tshwane Parliament?
From a community perspective, we still repeat the same thing. The judiciary must be independent. The best way of doing it, people must go and correct their votes and vote for people who will uphold rule of the law. Currently, no political party will do that. No political party has got the willpower to do it. Instead, they interfere to protect themselves against this criminality. So people must go and vote and change the constitution. There are certain clauses which actually doesn't sit well with the residents in the constitution of South Africa. But who crafted the constitution? President Ramaphosa. And who proclaimed all the SIU? President Cyril Ramaphosa. So he's actually power unto himself. He's like DA. Whenever you engage them, they run to court. So they cannot govern. They use the courts because they interfere. They know those holes they've opened. They use them actually to manipulate the system. Hence I'm saying, let our kids from primary level have political education. They must understand what politics means. This is a dirty game, but for them, obviously, we are a non-political organization, but politics affects everybody. We need to have that voice in the correct space, like your parliament, like your provincial legislature, like your local government, but we need political education, not the typical one, which is actually like the change our hard drives to think like them. I mean, if you listen to many parties who broke away from ANC, you can tell that these people are talking the same thing, the same language. They're reading from the same script. So I have the Netherlands and Janin Tonton. We don't need that. People should be independent. They've put a clause of independence, what is association, freedom of association. But when you vote action or you vote Dudula, they say, "Amara chief has Tengisa. Why are you voting?" But it's in the constitution. So the constitution must be revisited. But who's gonna do it? The voters must go and correct their votes. They must stop hallucinating, thinking that all parties will change the narrative of this constitution, which is wrong.
Thank you, Dudula. Same question.
Yeah, Ntate Bonaman, this thing is very simple. as Tsepo alluded, that the justice system should be independent. The Constitution of South Africa says that. The thing is, the separation of power, it is there. Now the problem that we are facing is this thing of cater deployment. You take wrong people and put them into the wrong positions. So the only thing that we need to do is to put the right people onto the right position, not cater deployment and nagetla hlatini. There's nothing of that sort that will take us forward. The only thing is we need to get the right people, the qualified people for that position to lead that particular department. Then we'll do away of all this problem that we're finding ourselves in presently. How can you take somebody that he was never a policeman, minister of police? You take a criminal, you put him a minister of police. How is he going to lead that department? You take somebody that he was never a doctor, he led the Department of Health. Get the right people with qualification, the right qualification for that particular department, then we're out of this mess.
Thank you very much. You are in Parliament, you've got numbers in Parliament. They say you are voting for a motion to collapse the nearby borders of South Africa. Swaziland, Botswana, Zimbabwe, Mozambique, and those, just to consolidate the first section of SADC to make one Southern African country, whatever the name it is. And then it will help us not to call people foreigners, amakwerekwere. Would you vote for that motion? Why? If you do not vote, why? The time starts now.
Remember, Tate Mashiane, that each and every country has its own citizens. That is why we say South Africa for South Africans, Nigeria for Nigerians, Namibia for Namibians. Belong to your country, base your concentration onto your particular country, then you will have no messes around your country. Because of the involvement of different people from these different countries in a particular country, that is where you get messes. So we are saying we won't vote with that motion. We'll be against that motion based on just the reason that I've already alluded, that each and every person, let him concentrate onto his own country.
So the reason is you do not want to join other countries. You do not want other countries to join. So one Africa does not work for you.
No, not per se, not working for us.
So I'm giving you an opportunity to tell me the reason you do not want. I know you say another country must have its own identity, but the reason you would not want that merger, that first step of uniting.
It has never worked for us. Experience has told us that merging with them, instead, they're crippling us to zero position. Okay, so
the experience has taught you that it will be chaotic if you unite with them.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you very much. Laska,
I think that motion is debatable in my view. One, America make rules for the rest of the country, of the world, as if they are the big brother. There are 50 countries in America. If you look at their Spangled Banner, that banner of theirs, those stars are 50. They are so rich because they are one country. It's a United States. They don't want that to happen in Africa. Okay, we've got immigration law in South Africa. Because of segregation of apartheid laws and all that, we live with it. Hence, I'm saying my answer will be twofold. Currently, the Nigerians must go to Nigeria, Zimbabweans must go to Zimbabwe. But why don't you look at the bigger picture? Because personally, I'm not swimming in a pool of politics. I'm swimming in a pool of governance. I need cocoa. It's not in South Africa. I need to work with our own South Africans because many of these people in South Africa, their origins are in Africa. There's a self-hate inflicted by this white colonialist who actually came to Africa with this nonsense of telling people that, no, you must hate your own brother and all that. It was planted, and the churches must decolonize. The churches, all the churches. Because the churches, that's where they manage our consciences to tell us that, no, your neighbor, a foreigner will come and do this and this. Who's a foreigner? It's not only a black person. We've got Chinese here. We've got Pakistani here. We've got all these people who are all fall under foreign. But because we've got immigration law, we should operate within the ambiguity of the law, because the law entails that they should come here legally. Hence, we don't want, I also don't want illegal foreigners. But if it's a legal foreigner coming with a rare skill, contributing to our economy, all fine, because that's not what whites want. Whites want a separated and divided Africa, black on black hate. Divide and conquer is the strategy, and it's working for them. But it is debatable. It is open for discussion.
What's your answer? What would you vote for?
I'll vote for debate. I'll propose a debate to say
the debate is done. Remember, before they voted, a debate is done.
I'll open it again.
So
I've got it right.
So you'll abstain from the vote?
I'll abstain from the vote.
Thank you very much.
I'll abstain from the vote. Definitely.
All right, no Gyalebo. Yeah, this one we need to answer it carefully, but it's very easy. I'll use a position of Action SA in this matter. We have laws. The laws, you mentioned the immigration law, the Immigration Act. The Immigration Act says you must come in through the gate or any port of entry, not through the fence. Should you be found to have done that, you have violated the law. You understand?
Jose, that's not the question I asked.
And then, no, there is a debate. You say, would you vote for it or would you not vote for it?
Yes.
So let me start from where you want me to start from. Would vote not in favor of that motion. The borders shouldn't be collapsed. Even when you go to other African countries within the AU, they are not talking about collapsing the borders. They are talking about free exchange of goods amongst ourselves and the mineral resources, that they shouldn't be held up at different borders for a long time unnecessary. It's affecting their economy, it's affecting our economy. We can't be the only ones who can think this thing of saying collapse the borders. They are borders for a reason. Yes, the borders were put for wrong reasons, but it's a system that is being inculcated into our daily lives at this point in time. We just have to ensure that there's a free trade. We're not an island. South Africa was built on the back of the foreign migrants. We all know about it. But then, does it then mean it's free for all? It can't be free for all. We can't go do the same in their own countries. And you can say, if we say we're collapsing the borders, then we are also going there. Do you think we'll get acceptance at this stage? Try it in Nigeria. Try it in Zimbabwe. Before you even go to Beira, so we can only say, do not collapse the borders. Do not. But ensure that at least there is some kind of an exchange trade and visiting each other and other social issues within harmony amongst ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So the question that is follows depends on how good you do in the elections. And those who are not in elections, it's just in the next elections when they participate. So should you not get enough numbers to govern a province or nationally, who amongst the political parties that are playing in the political sport would you choose two that you think politically they are ideologically next to you and that you would want to work with? You can start, Jose.
All right, no thanks. I guess you're asking me about who are your possible coalition partners.
Yes.
So really we are not prescriptive to say this one no, this one no, this one yes, this one what. We are only very clear about one thing and only one thing. There wouldn't have been Action SA if there was no ANC. The reason why there's Action SA today is because there's ANC, and ANC has messed up the whole thing. They have messed up every single bit, every single fiber of a system in a country, whether in judicial, whether at the national, whether at the provincial, at the legislature, any province. They've messed up everything. You were complaining about the section 3B and A institutions. They've messed it up. So all this mess that we find ourselves in right now, it is because of the ANC. It's purely so. So we are saying, How can we fix the country? Because our mandate is our position to say we want to fix the country. How can we fix the country with the very person that broke a country off? So we can work with anyone who hasn't broken the country. We can work with anyone with high values and, of course, high ethical leadership standards. Anyone who displays that we can work with, so irrespective of who they are.
So you already declared ANC persona non grata. Chances of working with ANC are slim.
Already I'm telling you that, look, ANC will be the last resort for us to work with. We'd rather be in opposition than be in government, unlike working with ANC.
And then would you work with Freedom Front Plus?
Look, the criteria still stays. We are saying we are open to work with anyone else who at least we do have some kind of similarities and they never contributed towards breaking the system of the country in any way.
So an example is people like ANC, you wouldn't prefer them, but Freedom Front Plus, because they have not stolen anything, because they have not contributed to our problems, you can work with Freedom Front Plus.
I can't say yes or no because this thing is subjected to vetting.
You're saying those ones are better?
No. You need to vet them first before you can work with them. So there's no pre-qualified anyone else that you can work with.
Okay, thank you very much. Tshwane Parliament, so the same question goes to you. When you enter political space, which of the political parties you are obviously judging from what you currently have now? Based on what you currently have now, who would you work with and who you think these ones are irreparable, you cannot make a relationship with them? Who are those?
I can work with newly formed parties.
Okay.
Confidently so. They're not implicated, they're not tarnished, they're not sleeping with the devil, they're not punishing anybody. So they don't have any history. They are South Africans. They are the voters. They understand exactly what they want. You know, the current politicians believe that they are entitled to our votes, our rates and taxes, our country. They believe so because they call us numbers now. They no longer call us voters. So look at what is happening in Tshwane. They parachuted some guy from Cape Town, bring people I'm going to be straight. This is a capital city we're talking about. I'm of a wrong template. I'm supportable action, I'm supportable freedom front. We had a service delivery backlog. It causes action say, I'm supporter bring it on. Today we are fighting amongst one another because of they supported the devil. And this thing better the devil I know, tell us about ANC. Now don't work like that. There are new parties who are going to make difference. And if we were to enter into political space for some reason, because we now, like I told you, we believe in ethical leadership like they do. A leader doesn't govern with somebody who loves him. We don't lead people over our ratang. You lead everybody, that's our thing. So there's no political tolerance. Mogiri hustlers say there's a deal just to get the seats. Now recently, I'm not bashing you, my brother.
You are.
You are having a deputy mayor because you threatened DA to pull out of the coalition. So now they've turned our capital city into a stock fail. Position. But what they are doing, nothing. They want a track record. Keep busy nugget stop at their team. Keep busy nugget through municipality. Keep busy, get society cases that is well because I'm on the ground. Air condition officers, they think they're entitled to our votes. So new parties must be given a fair chance. They'll govern.
Thank you very much.
Operation Dudula is prepared to work with each and every party that is singing the same song that Operation Dudula is singing. Simply saying, parties that they are willing to adhere or accept the objective of Operation Dudula, because we are not going to shy away.
So you can work with Action SA and Patriotic Alliance?
Yes. Yes.
Action SA?
I'm not yet clear.
I'm giving you examples.
Yes, I understand, but I'm not clear with Action SA because as it is operating in Tshwane, I'm having a doubt that I can be able to work with it.
EFF?
Remember the interest. It's based onto the South Africans. It is not based onto the leadership of political organizations. So we take the interest of our people into our heart. EFF, no, because first, Mr. Mashiane, you must understand that EFF, it is saying that we should do away with borders. And doing away with borders, presently me and you knows that the problem that we are facing within South Africa, it is this congestion of foreigners, illegal foreigners that are untraceable, that are committing crime. I mean, they commit crime left and right. Because they know you cannot trace them. They are untraceable. They are not documented. Now, still we should say, yes, we will work with the EFF, as it says now. Those foreigners that I am saying, they must go back to their country. They can come to our country, but legally. We are not saying they should not come. They should come, but legally. Not come through illegal ways.
Okay. Thank you. So this question, you should understand it carefully. Ne? You should understand it carefully because I don't want to interject anyone when they are answering it. Do not tell me the problem that we have. Just tell us the solutions to all the problems. I hope I'm clear because for 2 minutes I want to hear what solutions you are having. So you can state the problem and then give us the solution. But don't dwell on the problem. Just dwell on the solution of the problem. I think it's clear. You start, Dudula.
Mr. Mashian, I think we are clear. We are just saying eradicate all the foreigner, the undocumented foreigners.
How? I want the how. How are you going to solve the problems that South Africa has? How are you going to do it?
If we are in power, we will use all the resources of government to eradicate them. It is very simple. We can use the army. We can use subs. We can use our people. We can even use you.
Can you
to
also
eradicate those?
Can you advocate for building a high wall to protect the borders of South Africa?
No.
Okay,
not a high wall.
So those are examples of the solutions.
I've got no problem with our present border structures. The only thing it is how they are being administered. That is all. Put the right people there onto the present borders. Let them do the job in accordance. Then we've got no problem.
Do you honestly think there are physical barriers like wall fences all over South Africa?
No.
Okay. No, thank you. And do you honestly think you can physically guard, meaning by eyesight or by cameras, the whole borders of South Africa?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
You can. Technology is very advanced today. It is not only by your physical eyes. We've got technology that can monitor those borders 24/7.
Okay, thank you. So in the Parliament, same question.
My appeal is that political parties should have actually exercise political tolerance. Bickering, fighting is compromising the real issue here, which is to serve us as the voters who put them into power. They mustn't forget that. They are actually compromising the whole process by fighting for power. I mean, you listen at Democratic Alliance, their intention when they win is to oust ANC, not to serve us. We still want to hear, okay, you oust them and then what? You switch off our lights. You campaign, you say ANC doesn't care for its residents. But at the same token, you say, no, Tshwane Dima, Joburg, Dima, and all the other places which doesn't have a proper infrastructure. Let them prioritize us. But to pay the principle, let them put us first because we voted for them. I know, as we speak here, by the time you release this podcast, people will start tweeting and say, Wamutare, you can't hold me because I'm coming in 2026 and in 2029. Sentence here lacks 5 years. 2029, community parliament is coming to this flooded space. We are going to govern. People shall govern and people will mandate us to do the right thing. So from them, we are just asking political tolerance. Get dark. Why is it Mara, because we are appeasing Stellenbosch crew, you also sleeping with Brink and John Steenhuisen without the content. The wrong template. Marlam appeaser, learn all right. I don't vote out there just for that because we thought we are the solution, but we are the West. Operation Dudula, please, political tolerance. Remember where you come from. We hear you. There is Immigration Act. We don't want our country flooded with this undocumented. There's not even an audit. The poor minister Motsoaledi is trying his best. Of late, because he's doing the right thing. Benefiting drugs and other things from these foreigners. Use them as dinkabi. Because dinkabi, and people are just staring war as in KZN Mazul. Mazul are these people are from Zimbabwe. Language Nguni language. From Shonaland. And Kaika Matebeleland. Baba Kisi, they're protecting them.
Okay,
so we don't want that. We want political tolerance.
Okay. Thank you. Matebelama Shona. But host the same question.
No, it's fine. Now I'll derail a bit just to come down to the level. Original.
Remember, your voters are listening.
Yeah, no.
For you to provide solutions and not state problems.
No, that is fine. I can talk about practical solutions that is happening now. At least that I can say, as Section SA, I'm seeing it live happening in my eyes. So there's one thing you said that is right about politics. To say bazamana out there and about exchange the hands and whatever the case it could be, however, whichever way you put it. So there's evidence of that. Tshwane, city of Tshwane. I mean, Action SA was able to respond to the crisis of its nation where it's governing. I mean, Masha was able to install the security cleaners. The motion has passed some 2-3 weeks back, and we are not even governing there. We forced it in. The same thing is happening. We are saying uniformly so across the board. I mean, we want to professionalize a public service amongst the other things that I said. How will it be professional if you are busy exploit the companies that is security? So somebody must have a security and some decency as a human being to say, I'm working, and then when I'm working, this is the salary that I'm expecting at the end of the month. So we are saying we are insourcing those things. I mean, unlike what happened, for an example, the EFF is swinging a different tune. When it's with the people, is saying we are going to insource you. When it comes inside the council, I mean, you don't know what happened. A person mysteriously disappears after being against Action SA to say, we don't want those security guards to have permanent jobs within the city of Tshwane and the cleaners. So I'm voting no. And then immediately after voting no, actually Marona motion, table, Maro criticize our work. They thought he was going to fail. Unfortunately, it passed. So we are responsive to the real challenges of the people. I needed more time, but it's fine.
Okay. You let me know. I think this is a time for you to ask a question to maybe the two panelists that are sitting with you, and then have them a chance to answer. You've got. Can I give you 1 minute each to answer the question? Is it fine?
1 is fine.
1 minute is fine.
It's okay.
Okay, let's go. You can ask the question to both of them, and then they answer. Everyone interchange. 1 minute going. Who's starting?
I started. Okay.
I'm just having one question for Action SA. And the question is arising from what he said during the beginning of this interview.
Yes.
When you asked about the funders, he talked about the Action SA is funding itself, it's the people, I do not know. But we all know that this lady of Rupert, the daughter of Rupert, is sponsoring. So why don't you go? Why don't you expose that? Yes. You are being funded by those the Rupert and the Akaimamas. But you are not. You are hiding that. Why?
Okay, don't answer it. If you have a question for Tshwane Parliament, you could also ask him a question. If you don't have, it's fine.
No, I do not have a question on
all right, sure. You can answer the question and then throw two of yours.
Coalition, no, my brother. When you are my brother, you just know that. When you are my brother, you should have listened to me carefully when I was talking. I said, we sent out a plea to everyone in South Africa and say, can you please give us the little that you can, if you believe in what we are doing to fix South Africa. So we made out more than, how many are we in a country? 55 million now, 60 million now. Yeah, we made 62 million requests. From the 62 million, we didn't get everybody 62 million.
Even
Some response.
of South Africa, you ask.
No. We are saying, if you can and you believe in our offer, can you please assist us, particularly financially? Now, we didn't get the 62 million responses. We got a few. So it so happened that the person you hate is one of the people who said, no, here's some little money. And it was a change, for argument's sake. It was a change, that money. Serious change.
How much was it?
I don't recall. It was, so little that I can't even recall small.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
I think it's your chance to ask the questions to any of the panelists.
Baitapele re ke no e combine. Na re ntla like so wela kae mo lona le babedi. Hona membership ya ge wa ANC o tshwaile or o etsalang.
Let me just, on my side, I'm just going to be very honest with you. Ntlantla was never a member of Operation Dudula. Yes. Ntlantla was always from a Soweto Parliament. It's only that we were working together with Soweto Parliament. So most of the people that are ignorant thought Ntlantla is a member of Dudula. So I do not know. Maybe you will know from today that he was never a member of Operation Dudula. He was our alliance, yes.
So membership no go ANC or go Alaska.
Wait your turn. I've done. You still has this time.
Yeah. No. For a lot of people cannot be thinking without a content. Yes. We have seen him with Dudula.
Yes.
Preaching Dudula.
I think the question is exhausted. Thank you.
Okay. That's fine.
Madam.
Ntlantla commander, almost 5-year suspended sentence for crime of Moplantile Moyona, Etlofeta, South Africa, Modilo de Hal. He's a commander, the president there, Soweto Parliament. I'm the president of Tshwane Parliament. Ngeba is the president of Nali Parliament. The idea is to people to go and govern, hence we say Parliament. So, membership one Ntlantla Umobatu. Hence, when we say people shall govern, now I cannot say Kenya go parliamenting. People will tell me you rekhetha wena o ya parliamenting ka mabaka a maso, so that they can recall me ha ke sa tsamaye dilo tse ba di nyakang as residents. And then o nyaka na yo fela gore membership o more.
Okay.
No, the question is with the parliament, or is he with Dudula, or is now
with
ANC?
the parliament. He is the president of Soweto Parliament. That's what I know. Or I go to Dudula, he was never a founder, he was never a member. He's very radical and he's very intelligent.
No, thank you. I think your time is done.
Sure.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you 2 minutes to talk to your political party and seek public support for your elections. You're starting. You can go. Oh, sorry. You have not asked question.
Yes.
Please ask one each. Thank you. You can go.
Can I ask
HNSA? Yeah, I thought so.
No, I'm getting now history. The collapse is a capital city today. It's like a jumping castle. Since so, what is your ideology? Number one, 2 questions. What is your ideology? And 2, what have you really done to the people of South Africa, especially Tshwane, like service delivery, helping them with the rape and all that? Where are you? What have you done except being in collision with Brink? Okay. What is your ideology?
Yeah, before he answers, question for Dudula.
Operation Dudula, can I a question seeking clarity on that one? Beside mandate Dudula foreign nationals, what else can you offer to South Africans?
Thank you very much. Ari Tome Bokhosi, your 1 minute is on.
We are a party on our own. we are not premised on any party. We are not friends of ANC or EFF or Dudula or anyone. We are simply South Africans, all of us. And I'll answer Yuga evidence that is now currently. I wanted to give an example here, the security workers and cleaners, to say they must not be subjected to that. It's actually a talking, by the way. They must not be subjected to exploitation by the companies, by the millions, they must also get permanent employment. You just said and then deputy mayor. It was part of the coalition agreement that was pre-negotiated before even we had one MMC or we had the mayor or anything. It was said we must have this. The reason for that is so that we can implement part of the things that we want to implement. Example, come look at Amaskral water. You are singing the last tune of Dirty Water of Amaskral for the last time this year.
What is your political ideology? That was the question.
Can I still go ahead even?
You can answer your action essay.
No, my
ideology didn't ask.
Mine to say, it's very clear, it's very simple. As it says, besides Dudula,
yes,
what are you promising us?
Yes.
So the only thing that I'm promising the South Africans, not particularly Tsepo, it is the growth of the economy within the country of South Africa.
Okay. No, that's it. I think you can start on your site and start campaigning. You are canvassing in 3 provinces for votes, right?
Yes.
Yes. Please explain that to your people. I'm gonna give you 2 minutes. Explain what is it that you are doing this year and what is it that you want from your citizens and what is it that you can do for them. It starts now.
No, Mr. Mashian, as you said, we are canvassing onto 3 provinces. You are right, and partially, because we are still fighting to canvass nationally. We are still going to the Constitutional Court tomorrow. Onto these 3 provinces that we are canvassing at, and I think for us to be able to get that support from those provinces, it is because the people of those provinces have already detected the importance of Operation Dudula within those provinces of theirs. Hence, they pushed us to appear onto the ballot papers. And we are really promising them that you'll never go wrong to go with Operation Dudula. As you have alluded unto the beginning of this conversation, that Dudula, it doesn't sing what it doesn't know. It practices what it says. We being outside of the parliament, but doing more than those that are in parliament. So vote Dudula.
Thank you. Tshwane parliament, anything?
I'm saying people should align themselves with reality, which is the people's parliament. Wherever you are, go to any parliament, because we are the voter. You are the one who's putting these people into power. Their salaries doesn't come from their political parties. So we are funding them to be in power. We are actually after paying them salaries for abuse it. So let's take power back to the people. Hence, I started by saying education is important to South Africans, starting from Bana. We need people to understand exactly what more South Africa. RDP, how I a political party. We are like a tax. As a taxpayer, you should know what you are the government. You are leading. No president, no premier, no ahona moto ale mo position of power. Wa patela nge political party high. Re patela ke rena. We kerna beng ba chelete. How they use them, they must listen to us. We want to hold them to account, because we can't have, for example, we cannot never vote for parties like both DA. Baba Fisang di flag. That is amounts to treason. 2, parties na ideology are removing. We want to hear content, want to hear or offering. So what I'm saying, trying to say, people should know the truth. Because patela kwena le police le misentla o le tshwarise because le patela kwena. President a tshwanno bolela as he pleases e a ka bolela go dithule, but not here.
This year, yeah, which political party are you helping?
I'm not helping any political party. I'm helping the residents. We've got impeccable track record of delivering services. Hence, I have party for a Tshwane. I have party for a Gauteng. If you go to the ballot, so now I'm saying all small parties, they must just come together. They will see the numbers about Bakabadi Kingmaker, Bakona who control all this so-called big brother parties.
Thank you very much. Same question.
I never say I got party. I can blame him more. Sorry. Reaction SA. We're asking the community to vote Action SA. Let me pitch it at our local level because that's where I'll be campaigning most, and also Lemo Gauteng. Action SA number 1 is saying let's observe the rule of law. The rule of law, we have so many acts, we have so many laws, we have so many everything else, but what we lack is implementing them. So implementation is what we promise people. We're saying to people, whatever laws there are, we have so many laws. We don't need new laws or more laws. We just need to implement that has been here. For an example, there are laws that governs how police should do their jobs. So if you are a cop, and then you are working under the government of Action SA, you are not law unto yourselves. You're going to jail as well. Jail is open for you. I mean, these issues of the borders. We have borders for a reason. There are laws that are aligned to the borders. Should you in any way cross the line, or you are not documented, you are a foreign national, a foreign country to you, and then what do you want? The only logical explanation we can think of, country. Imagine if you are coming through landmine missiles that can go 12,000 kilometers away, and then all these people come here, set up their base here, and then hit America or Iraq or Russia. Do you understand the importance of securing our borders? So there are laws that are governing those things. I mean, I can go on and on. We have multiple core values. Earlier on, Horapela was not the only thing. What we're teaching our kids, they'll never do anything. They'll never be anything. They will never. Because Rebaruta Utpuwa stereotyped. We can't teach kids to be that stereotype. I like the issue that you raised of entrepreneurship. I wish you were a party and a fellow community, man.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. Thank you very much.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes,
before we close?
Yes, please do.
I'm hearing my friend here talking sense that there are laws, but there are constitutional delinquents. They contravene each and every clause in the Constitution. Bonabanali DA, Banzebar bringing a lawyer. We are contravening each and every clause in the Constitution.
Come on, bring.
Give me a rally. Money from the position must stop fair. Give me a man of stop fair. I'll feel in position. So, but at the bottom of everything, political tolerance, but by clock. We are not government. Government again. Gerenaro governor. Hercaselebi, Mara, I doubt the role of Walla. Those numbers, Leshianella leader, the moonshot. Never consulted with us.
Moonshot again.
Give us a multi-party charter, so we are not going to
get
it. I'm telling you, Roletos are Lanska to campaign about
guys, that's the end of the debate.